I'm gonna be honest here, I really wanted to do this video for a while, but I wanted it to be as accurate as I can possibly make it. So therefore, in today's video, guys, I'll be talking about the top 5 best free-to-play vehicles that you guys should definitely be using for yourself if you are not going to be buying any game passes in War Tycoon. But just in general, I believe a lot of these vehicles are way better than the game pass vehicles that are actually here on sale. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. So first of all, moving into the number 5 position for a vehicle that you guys should definitely get for yourself, but overall, in my opinion, it's going to be one of the best in terms of free-to-play. That being the VCSC Mephisto. It's quite simple why this vehicle is one of the best, and I know a lot of you guys can actually assume this. However, this vehicle has one thing that a lot of vehicles do not have. It has to be the high skill gap. And the thing with this vehicle is if you guys are going to be mastering it, then it's pretty much going to be a perfect counter to planes. 2 of these missiles will literally be able to destroy any plane in the sky, and sometimes even be able to one-shot them, and you guys could also very easily sneak attack any ground vehicles on the ground. If you guys could play it right, you could also use the smoke to easily get away from people who are going to be spamming missiles at you in the sky. And overall, I believe this vehicle to be the best for the reason that it is pretty much a counter to everything. However, of course, it will be stupid if I didn't include on the number 5 position one more vehicle, which of course has to be the Patriot anti-air truck, but the community has a hidden rule. It's the fact that nobody wants people to be using this because it's simply the most no-skill, most annoying vehicle in the game. But yeah, this is going to be my number 5 pick. I personally believe the VCSC Mephisto to definitely be up there. Now, moving into the tanks, on the number 4 position, I will be simply putting down the KF-51 Panther. Here's the thing with the KF-51. This is by far the second best tank in the game, and definitely one of the best free-to-play vehicles in the game, just because of the fact that its 130mm cannon pretty much hits like a freaking truck, just like the Abrams X. Not to add, its machine gun is also pretty good, and it does have its unique feature of being able to use drones. And these drones are actually quite useful because it allows you to actually go ahead and sneak attack your enemies, and you could really be firing it in any direction. It just gives you a very nice head start in terms of ground PvP fights. But not to add, this is also a pretty decent counter to helicopters, because the helicopters cannot actually go as fast as planes, so these drones can actually end up catching them in the sky as well. The only small issue I do have with this tank is this turret depression, is that you guys are not really able to aim as low. Like whenever there's going to be an infantry player trying to get into your tank and they're going to be like right next to you, it's going to be way harder to actually go ahead and shoot them, because as you guys can see, I'm not able to aim lower than what I'm aiming right now. So if the person, for example, is going to be right here, well, you guys really gotta step back and get as far away from them as you can, and they will just end up getting a lot of shots on you. But yeah, the Abrams X is always going to be better than this vehicle, that's always going to be for sure, but as a free-to-play vehicle, this vehicle still gets the job done incredibly well. Now, moving into the planes, and we know that this is going to be a heavily air-vehicled video where I'm going to be covering as many powerful air vehicles, and it's pretty simple which I'm going to be picking for the number 3 spot. Personally, I'm going to be choosing the Jazz 39 Gripen. The reason why the Gripen is so good these days is not because of its bombs, not the fact because of its lock-on missiles, it's the fact that it does have some of the best turning speed in the game. Surprisingly, I am actually going to be saying this, I don't know why it was made so good in this regard. It's actually very similar to the F-22s, but not to add, its fire and forget missiles are pretty much just a perfect counter that's low risk, high reward against ground vehicles, but also a very good counter to helicopters. And realistically, you guys could really destroy so many people while using these, and I really do like the vehicle for the fact that it does have some infinite levels of versatility. Anyway, let's just jump into number 2 spot. Now, this will never be a surprise to anybody. I personally still until this day believe that this is going to be the best helicopter in the game, and it is by far better than the Mi-28 Havoc. The only thing that the Mi-28 has over it is lock-on range. But if you guys are going to be really skilled, this vehicle hits so insanely hard, and it pretty much is able to counter any ground vehicle, not even a difficulty. It is also a great counter to the USS Zumwalt. It is able to absolutely shred its health into pieces by just using 16 of these rockets. But not to add, its lock-on missiles are also pretty good, and they do also tend to be hitting very hard. But again, this vehicle does have a 1000 stats lock-on range, so you guys will have to get a little closer to your opponents. But not to add, this vehicle is also really good because of its maneuverability, but also travel speed, being able to be the fastest helicopter in the game. I really do love it for this fact. But another very underrated feature of this vehicle is that it is by far the best in terms of being able to fight any plane or any helicopter in the sky once you guys are going to be zooming in. This main cannon is so insanely good in terms of being able to fight opponents in the sky and actually hit your shots very fast and accurately. I personally suggest you guys to be using first person for this vehicle because it's going to be making its usage way easier, but if you guys also want to use third person, that's also totally okay. But yeah, this vehicle is by far probably one of the best vehicles in the game as of now, and by far the second best one to get as a free-to-play player. Anyway, let's move into the number one spot, which a lot of people can probably guess what I'm going to be picking. Now, the number one spot for a vehicle that's easily going to be taking it, no one should be surprised about this, the Su-57 Felon. This vehicle is an absolute joke in terms of a powerhouse. This is pretty much a non-VTOL F-35 in the most simple way to go ahead and put it. First of all, it has some of the best turning speed in the whole entire game, being able to rival the F-35. Its missiles are by far the second strongest in the game, once again behind the F-35. Not to add, this vehicle has insane amount of health and incredibly good travel speed as well. There's pretty much not even that many things that I could go ahead and talk about this vehicle. It is pretty much just a free-to-play F-35 copy, and I see pretty much every single person spamming this, and the operation for this is also pretty easy, that you guys basically have to spend 200 parts. This vehicle literally just hits like a truck, destroys anything in the game. 6 of its missiles, anyone is gone. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your opinion on this list? Would you be putting any vehicle higher or lower? I apologize for not actually including the F-22 on this list. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a disappointment. It's not actually this good of a vehicle, and many people who do play this game in much more of a pro community, they can definitely agree with this. So if you do have your opinions about that, then also let me know in the comment section. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much to my channel members.